Hi folks, how's all doing? Well, what have I got here? This is an old Bachmann A4 class. It's the Union of South Africa. It was sent to me by Robert. Robert sent me the Dublo Silver King a while back. He's told me that this is an issue with the rear pony truck and that it tends to slow down going round bends. So let's see what happens when we turn the power on. So yeah, it did seem to be a bit lumpy going around the corners there and over the points. This will have the usual split chassis thing, and so we've maybe got some axle issues and maybe wheel spacing problems, but we'll see. We'll get it into the shed and see if we can sort it out. So this is the first Bachmann A4 I've looked at. Robert said he bought this locomotive because he's seen the real thing many times. General condition is okay. There's a bit of glue splash on that badge there. The rear brakes are melted away, as is part of the pony truck there. So thankfully Robert's got a replacement for this. The brakes, I'll maybe be able to snip a pair off a spare underframe I've got kicking about. The wires have been, yeah, I think there's just been a bit of an issue at the back there. The body's actually loose because that fixing screw isn't screwed right in. It looks a bit stripped. The front wheels appear to be a bit loose, and the axle, the plastic bits is all cracked. I think a bit of super glue is probably all that's needed with those. They'll be okay. Once we get the underframe off, we'll see what condition the axles are in. My guess is they're probably going to be split. The question is, how bad are they split? There's my calipers. Let's just check the wheel spacing. 14.1. 14.23, 14.3, and 14. Could maybe do with being a wee bit closer, those two, but we'll see what state the axles are in. Okay, so I think first things first is we'll get this pony truck off. Get that off. We do have a replacement for it, thankfully. And there's a screw at the front here as well. Oh, there's a broken handrail there as well. A wee touch of super glue will sort that. There's a screw. Yeah, screw's all stripped. So, pliers onto that. Let's see if we've got another screw that'll fit in there. There we go. I think this just comes out. There's nothing attached to the body. Nope. So there we go. So here's the replacement pony truck. The wires are just kind of wedged in between, both halves of the pony truck frame are metal, and they're held together with a central plastic piece. And these wires they're just kind of wedged in between the plastic piece and the metal half of the frame, and that then goes up and solders to those terminals there. Not the greatest design in the world, so we'll sort that in a minute. Let's get a look and see what's going on with the axles. It screws out, and then this should come off relatively easily. Like that. No, these seem okay. Just turn them. No, that one's split. Not badly though. Yeah, I think these are okay. I think I'll just put a little bit of glue in the to stabilise the cracks a bit. Can I squeeze these together any more than they already are? Or is that loose? No, that's fine. Just make sure there's no play in these wheels. No, I think they're fine. I'll get some super glue on the little crack on this one. I think it'll be okay. So what I'll do is I'll clean up all the grease, get some fresh lubrication in there, and clean up the wheels because the wheels are in a bit of a state. I'm going to get the wire brush onto them because they're yeah, they need a really good hard polish. I'll lift that out. Got a lot of grease in there, far too much. Right, give it a good scoosh. Just clean all that old dried up grease out of there. I found these Bachmann split chassis run best with minimal lubrication. You don't want to cake them in grease, just enough. Because what you really want is a good contact between the metal parts of the chassis and the metal parts of the axles. If you don't, you'll get lumpy running. And nobody wants lumpy running. Right, we'll get the rotary tool onto these wheels and get them cleaned up. And we'll give these a wee polish with some contact cleaner as well. I find these old Bachmann wheels get little dimples on them, little imperfections. So the rotary tool takes all that away and then just polish them up. We'll look at the front bogie because these plastic axles are all split. I've had a look online now, I can't find replacements. So we'll clean these up and then we'll get some super glue on the cracks just to try and stabilise them a bit. We'll let the contact cleaner evaporate from that front bogie. We'll snip off these melted brakes. And then we'll see what we can do to replace them. I've got a couple of old underframes here, an old Airfix one and an old replica Railways one. I'm thinking I can snip off the brakes from one of these and put it on. I think this replica Railways one's the closest. They're a wee bit bigger, but I think it'll be fine. Let's just snip them off. If I snip that bit off, how would that look? Okay, I think I might have to fit these on once I've got this back on actually, because I want to make sure they're not going to hit the wheel. And if I glue them on just now, I'm going to be kind of guessing, because I might just have to angle them a tiny wee bit. So yeah, but I think these will do. One there, and we'll take the one off the other side as well. But I'll fit them once I've got the thing back together. We'll get some super glue into these front bogie axles. Just run it right into the crack. There we go. Let that cure. I think that should be okay. Again, I don't want to fit this until I've got the underframe back on, but we can desolder these wires just now. This should come off relatively easy. Unlike the 142 I was working on, there's no danger of anything melting there because it's straight onto the metal chassis. Okay, we'll get some fresh oil on the axles, just a wee spot. gear oil on there. Okay, so we'll fit this new pony truck onto this underframe. Got a little screw. Where's the screw gone? There it is. I think this screw's for just restricting the movement of the pony truck. Can't think what else it's for. Right, get that screwed in to there, like so. And then that'll go over there, that'll go on there. Right, the wires will go up through there, and that goes on to here like that. Like that. Put the screw in there, and then pop this back on. Like so. Now we want to solder these wires to the contacts there, and we need to make sure we get them the right way around. So that's the one for this side, and that's the one for this side. So just before I solder that wire, I'm just going to make sure that there is continuity between that wheel and the end of that wire. Come on, there should be. Yes, there is. That's fine, okay. We'll check the other side. Yep. What's that one in? Yeah, that's an easy soldering job for a change. Just make sure that moves freely, which it seems to do. I just realised I hadn't superglued the split axle, but I'm looking at it again and I can see that it's not split. What I thought was a split is actually just the join between the two pieces of plastic. But now that it's cleaned up, got all the grease off, I can see it's not split at all. So I think that's the first time I've opened up one of these Bachmanns, a split chassis model, and there hasn't been a split axle. So that's cool. Right, pop this on a bit test track. And away it goes. We'll get some grease on the worm gear. A few spots of oil on all the linkages. Okay, before anything else, I think I'll give it a wee spin round the track, just like that, just to see what it does round the curves. Seems to be running fine. Okay, that seems to run absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do now is glue on little plastic brakes onto the chassis just behind these rear wheels to make it look like the other wheels. Pretty sure that'll fit on there. Okay, just put some super glue onto there, not too much. Just gently drop that on. Try and get it into position before the glue sets. Yeah, that's not bad at that, I don't think. So there we are, that's the brake on there, and I've stuck one on there as well, so that'll look okay. Now I've got a little broken fixing on the handrail here, so another tiny wee spot of super glue, and I mean tiny. Okay, that's that done. We'll fit this back into the body. Right, the original screw was stripped, but I've got one here that I think will do. I'm going to have to put a tiny wee piece of black tack on it to make it stick to the screwdriver because it's not magnetic. Could do with a smaller screwdriver actually. Where are we? That'll do it. Oh, that screw's too long. I thought that would fit. It fits, but it's just a bit on the long side. Oh, what else have I got? And that's going in. Will that hold? Yeah, it does. Okie dokie. I'll get this one in. So one other thing I noticed with this is that the tender seems quite far away from the locomotive, but you can adjust that, which is quite nice. Slacken that off and we can push that in a bit. A bit of that. That's better. So there we are. That's this Bachmann A4 Union of South Africa sorted out. Let's go and stick it on the layout. Okay then, out she comes. Well, there we are. That's the Union of South Africa running no problem now. So all that really needed was a clean up and replace the pony truck. Not sure how much difference having pickup from the pony truck really makes, but you know, the more the merrier when it comes to pickups really, so worth sorting out. Bit of a pity the underframe had been attacked by a soldering iron, but I know from experience that model locomotives and soldering irons are not good bedfellows. You really have to watch what you're doing. But I cut off a couple of breaks from an old underframe and modified them a wee bit and stuck them on, and yeah, it looks fine. Nice model this actually, not the quietest runner in the world, but it does run very smoothly now it's been cleaned up. You know, keep these split chassis models super clean to ensure good electrical pickup and avoid any lumpy running. Anyway, job done. I'll get this packed up and sent back to Robert. Okay folks, catch you later.